Oh, what's up, everyone? Good morning. Aaron Nagler here on Cheesehead TV, coming to you live on Wednesday morning, as we always do on the social channels. Good to see everybody already tip-tapping away on the comments section. The Packers are back on the practice field later this afternoon to start preparations for the game against the Chicago Bears on Sunday night in Lambeau Field. Should be a fun time. The Bears, who knows who's starting a quarterback? Doesn't really matter. That defense is formidable, though. Going back and watching last year's game in Lambeau, they gave the Packers all they could handle. The Packers obviously came out on top, had a number of plays to Davante that kind of separated the two, but that defense, there's a lot of talent there, and it is not to be taken lightly. Morning, everybody. How are you? Thanksgiving Eve. What's up, Chris Dorsey, Mary Beth Girth? Hello, both. Yes, Thanksgiving Eve. I hope everyone is staying safe this holiday season. I won't get on a soapbox, but I hope everyone is limiting the amount of travel and or time with people outside their immediate family and or bubble. Let's try and head this thing off at the pass as much as we can. Good to see everybody. Good morning. Bears giving up 21 points per game. Well, yeah, because their offense goes 3 and out 100 times out of 100. Context. Situational football. It's more than what's put on a stat sheet. Game of football. That's why we love it. Corey, thanks for the super chat. Hey, Nags, wishing you and your girls a happy Thanksgiving. Also, happy Turkey Day to all my fellow carriers of the G. Absolute, Corey. Amen to that. Derek, free Rashawn Gary. Yes, it is time. It is time for Bane Gary to be on the field a whole hell of a lot more. No question about it. Special teams will be a major factor. Bears good, Packers bad. I mean, until the Packers do anything on special teams, you got to think whoever they're facing has the advantage on special teams. Almost there. Almost there. Stay on target, people. Stay on target. Right there. See that? That's there. See that? That's a Lombardi trophy, baby. Stay on target. What specifically have you seen Matt LaFleur improve on since he's taken over? We all seem to be talking about the same issues with this team since he took over. I don't agree with that at all. Number one, his ability to juggle everything on the offensive side of the ball when it comes to personnel in a way he never had to last year. Last year, obviously, they were one of, if not the healthiest team in the league. This year, they are completely banged up like every other team. And they have, for the most part, not completely, but for the most part, not skipped a beat on offense, still putting up 30 no matter who's out there. So that's been impressive. As far as like the same issues, quote unquote, he's 25 games into his tenure. I don't know what people expect. Yes, he's a young coach and he has some areas of struggle and or blind spots that hopefully he will learn and grow to better himself in those areas, become better in certain things and certain aspects of the game. But he's still so early on. People are ready to stamp a label on everything all the time. Let it grow, man. A year and a half in. I think he's done an outstanding job. There's zero question about it. And I am really excited to see how he continues to grow as a head coach. But he's coached 25 games, 26 maybe? Like, just pump the brakes. Dial it back. Nags, can you explain how Matt LaFleur preaches about being aggressive, but then allows Pettine to call passive coverage? Well, because you're not going to call press man or heavy blitzes, pressures, every single down. And I understand the need to mix it up. As far as like preaching aggressiveness and then Pettine doing something else, I mean, that's Matt abdicating the idea of Mike Pettine knows more about defensive football than anybody else in that building. So he is very much going to allow his defensive coordinator to call the game as he sees fit. Now, the whole reason I asked Matt the question on Monday is because it does seem to be a tendency in that certain situational football, that situation, where they keep doing the same thing and they keep getting beat. So either something needs to change or an emphasis needs to happen, the coaching point needs to be different, etc. And Matt did say they talked about it. Now we'll see if anything changes. But as far as like also squaring away what Matt preaches with what Mike does, man, I don't know. Talk to the people in the building. I'm not, contrary to popular opinion, I'm not in on the meetings. William, thanks for the super chat. Mr. Negler, what is the best Thanksgiving dish and why is it mashed taters? William, not even close. The best Thanksgiving dish is my mother's stuffing. Old school recipe passed down through generations on my mom's side. Just a little bit of sausage in there mixed in with the stuffing. Oh, God, I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. And I hate the fact that I'm not home for Thanksgiving this year to have some. It's the worst. JJens 21. It seems Matt LaFleur has taken a more active and vocal role in the defense this year as he has grown more. Yeah, I mean, he's talked about it more, and we certainly have asked about it, given their struggles at times. It's always hard. You always got to take that kind of with a grain of salt, though. I mean, it's all well and good to stand there at the podium and give your thoughts and talk about the defense and wanting to maybe have more of an influence on it, but we never really know what's happening. And I would posit, you look at any game after an offensive possession, oftentimes you'll see the camera catch Matt talking to Rodgers while the defense is playing. So I do still feel that it's very much like, okay, that's Mike's thing, and I'm just going to worry about the offense. And that's not to say that he's not involved or that he hasn't put his imprint on certain things, but, it's hard to say with any certainty how involved Matt really is on the defensive side. Oh, that's funny. That is really funny. Oh. White Castle stuffing is the best. Tommy, you got to get out more, buddy. How can you continue to live with Mike Pettine? Ha! Jimmy, yeah, that could be I'll tell you what, that's a more viable question than how can you live with MVS? I'll tell you that. Cheesehead TV wear Lululemon like Coach. No, we ain't got that kind of money. Come on now. This should be the post Aaron Rodgers Tuesday discussion Wednesdays. That's a lot going on there, John. Barry Puppy Fat. That is one hell of a handle. Thanks for the super chat. Nags, best wishes to you all for Thanksgiving. What do you think Packers fans should be thankful for, apart from not being Bears fans? They should be thankful that they have an organization who has the temerity and the foresight to make sure and ensure that this franchise is on the right track for more than just a season. They're not reactionary. They are always looking ahead, and they don't bend to the will of the fans. That is what you should be thankful for. 1,000%. Can you microwave a turkey? I don't know, Sly. But try and find out. Damn, that hoodie is awesome. Just got it yesterday or just arrived. Stay on target, baby. Stay on target. Odds on the friends and family only crowd at Lambeau still telling people to sit down on third down. Andy, you know it's coming. Come on. They'll be totally spaced out. There won't be anyone in front of them, and they'll just do it out of, habit. Would you ever show your face in public if you were a Vikings fan? Oh, it would be hard. I'll tell you that. Wasn't it Mark Daniels who asked LaFleur about lack of fumbles a few weeks ago, and now look what happened? Yeah. I did say at the time, don't want to jinx it. Joel, thank you for the super chat. I am thankful for you. Happy Turkey Day to you and the girls. Thank you, Joel. That's really kind of you. Thanks very much. So someone just asked about Raven Green will need to be Bob Sanders if we are to make a run at the target. Nah, Jimmy, not at all. Raven just needs to keep doing what he's doing. And the defense obviously needs to play better in situations that we've all seen them struggle in. But hell, we've seen it happen in the league before. Indianapolis had one of the worst defenses, the worst run defense, got in the playoffs, strung together 3 great games on defense, won a championship. I'm not saying that's the way. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but we don't know. Got to let it play out. See how they develop. See, maybe hopefully we get Gary on the field more. Maybe now we got King and Jair cooking with gas, Darnell Savage just had his best game of the year, like not even close. So trending in the right direction, right? Let's see what happens. I like our chances. Well, Mike just asked, has Savage been playing better lately? He had not even close his best game on Sunday. Like, no question about it. I think they did a really good job of utilizing his skill set, putting him in positions near the line of scrimmage, which is where he has really excelled. Obviously, everyone saw the pass breakup, but on the tight end and against the blitz, but he did so much in that game. Really played well, lock solid on his assignments, really flying to the football in run support. Yeah, by far his best game of the year. Nicholas, thanks for the super chat. Did Preston gain extra weight in the offseason? Doesn't he seem a step slower and less fluid? No, the last part, no. He seems exactly as fluid or fluidless, however you want to call that, as he did last year, at least to my eyes. I can't speak to his weight gain or lack thereof. I have no idea. But to answer the third or second question, doesn't he seem a step slower? Yes, he does. There's no doubt about it. I don't pretend to know what his offseason regiment was as far as, his workouts. I don't know what he's doing in season, but there is no doubt he looks a step slower. And I don't think that's controversial. Amos is still the guy I noticed bringing energy. New York finest, you're not kidding, man. Down in and down out, he is definitely there. Minus the fumble, MVS is improving. Dan, I can't argue with that. I understand people being frustrated, obviously, of course, because that fumble led to the game being lost in overtime. But, it's that sense of this player has so much potential, and the ceiling is I don't think it's been completely reached yet. He's still improving, as you say, but the inconsistency is what kills you. You've got to be a guy who answers the bell each and every week, each and every down. And I know they've talked about it. They were talking about it this past summer. And it seems like he's close, but man, that's what they call a coach killer. Someone who, shows you just enough to keep you on the field, but then makes horrible mistakes at the most inopportune times. I do think he's better than being just a coach killer, though, because I think you look at his output, you look at his ability, you look at everything he's really done this year as far as continuing to grow throughout the season. There's no question that, yes, he is on the upswing. He's on the right path, but man, he's just got to be more consistent. Chet, Gary over Preston, 1,000%. Michael, thank you for the super chat. Savage improving, Gary breaking out, Lazard working back, King working back, D hitting harder, Pat going on a run, 6-0 to finish the season. Michael, from your super chat to the football god's ears. I'm all in on that. I'm all in on that plan. Let's do it. I'm happy to be a part of it. Cameron, thank you for the super chat. Baffles me why they use Preston in coverage, not Gary. Well, it's not so much that they say, okay, we're going to use Preston in coverage. You got to remember the other team gets paid as well. And they caught the Packers in a man situation, and they had the Packers thinking run. And that's why Preston is out there and then in that position. And then they motion and get that single that they want. And they took advantage of it. If Mike Pettine was given his druthers, he would not go, oh, Preston, let's go single you up here in coverage. That's not what he's trying to do, but it is going to happen on occasion. Bears still suck, Daniel. You are preaching the Lord's work right there. Thoughts on Aaron Jones not getting as much playing time? Jamal has gotten more and more reps past 3 games. I do think they're keeping him fresh. I do think he's coming back from that calf injury, and they want to make sure that they don't overwork him, overuse him as they come down the stretch here. I do think they need to run the offense through him, though. They need to get him going. I think another problem with it is, they're not, when you're not converting, you're not getting more opportunities. And we did see a lot of Jamal, but a lot of that was in pass situations where they want him out there for his pass pro. So I do think it has leaned towards Williams, but I do think they're trying to manage that workload, so to speak, down to have Jones fresh down the stretch. And look, you can't argue with the results last year. That's what they did, and it worked out pretty damn well. So we'll see. Dean A, thanks to the super chat. I've gone down a Depeche Mode rabbit hole. Nothing wrong with that, man. I do it all the time. I do it almost daily. And just have a black celebration, man. Have a great time. Justin, thanks for the super chat. Funny how everybody loves Gary now. It is kind of interesting, isn't it? And I'm not casting aspersions. I'm not like, whatever. But I remember even this summer when the reports were coming out every day from camp, we kind of, talked about it every single day here on Packers Daily about how good he was looking. And I still had people saying, oh, he's a bust. And then he tweaks his ankle week 3 and doesn't play a whole lot. And people, oh, he's a bust. Now, all of a sudden, it's Gary over Preston almost every day. And again, it's not on specific people, but it is noteworthy that the mood around a player suddenly changes. It is definitely noticeable. Wayne or Larry ever on transplants? Oh, God, I would love to get Larry on transplants. We've had Wayne on back in the day after he Larry V'd us. But, yeah, no, I'd love to get Rock on transplants. That'd be amazing. CR, thanks for the super chat. Love you, Nags and Cheesehead TV. Get drunk all weekend. That is the plan, sir. That is the plan. Unleash the December Kraken. Exactly. Favorite national radio guy? Oh, that's a really good question, Maximus. You know what's funny is I haven't listened to any of the national radio stuff in years because I've been working most of the time. So, like, I used to listen to the radio when I drove, like if it was a night game and, you know, Westwood One carries all the national games. So I would listen. You know who's really good? The last time I caught a game on the radio, Mike Holmgren as a color guy. I never in a million years would have thought Holmgren would be a color commentator. But that's what, I don't know if he still does it, but I know a few years ago he was doing it for Westwood One, and he was really good. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised because he's a coach. He knows the schemes. He knows everything about the game, blah, blah, blah. But, like, just, man, you can see, like, how he could get in front of a room and, I guess, you know, command the space, command people, because he's got a really good command of expressing himself and what he's seeing and blah, blah, blah. Like, I was shocked. I was like, God, this is so good. And generally, the radio guys are better than the TV guys. Like, zero question about it. Cameron, thanks for the super chat. People saying Gary is a bust don't realize what a jump pass rushing in college and to the pros is. I very much agree, Cameron. No doubt about it. Favorite current non-Packers player? Robin is probably somebody they're going to face on Sunday. Akeem Hicks. I love his game. I love what he's all about. The guy's a student of the game. People just see a big mauler and he's anything but. He is a technician. He's an assassin. And he's hilarious as hell. He's up there. I don't know about, like, total favorite non-Packer. I'm trying to go through players in my head. But, man, he is up there. He is definitely in the conversation. Is A.J. Dillon fine? He's been on the COVID list for a while now. He has, Gabriel. I mean, you saw him tweet, or maybe you didn't see him tweet the other day. You know, he's really missing his brothers, wants to get back out there, etc. Got to get cleared, though. And I don't know. He's still on that. I think it was been 3 weeks. You know, Sternberger and Crosby took a good chunk of time as well back this summer to get off the list. So I think everybody's going to be a little bit different as far as when they get cleared. But having just gone through it myself, you know, I've got to get back out there and take a few more tests. But so far, so good. But yeah, I think, you know, and whatever the Packers protocols are, etc. Hopefully he's out there sooner rather than later. Harlan is very entertaining on TV and radio. Love that guy. Harlan's calls when things unexpectedly happen, whether it's like someone running on the field or an animal out there, like whatever. He is absolute gold. He is genius. I mean, he's genius and gold regardless. He's great at his job. But like when those moments happen, he is unparalleled. Nags Akeem is one big assassin. He'll kill you, Cameron. He'll take your life. Orlando, that's an interesting question. You think playing in front of crowds makes MVS nervous? When there is no one in the stands, he performs well. It's like practice for him. I mean, that's some sports psychology 101 that I'm, you know, is way beyond my pay grade, but maybe. I don't know. All I think of when I think of like sports and nerves and psychologists or whatever is that scene from The Natural when the guy is like, they bring in a shrink to try and break the bad streak they have. And the doctor like is basically lulling them to sleep in the locker room. Good times. Pac Fan 39. After 10 games, is this team better than 2019? I think so. I mean, I don't say what you want about the records, but yeah, I think so. I think there's no question they're better on offense. They are probably a little bit worse in certain areas on defense, but overall, I think the talent level is better. They just need to play with more cohesion and consistency. More EQ Sunday, Mike. I hope so. Really liked what I saw out of him on Sunday. Not just the play where we saw him go airborne, which was awesome, but just his effort in the run game, blocking on some screen passes. He really brought it. And, I know he looked really shaky that first game back, what was it, back in the Tampa game, and didn't look great in the Vikings game. But hopefully he was just kind of working back into shape because, damn, he looked really good Sunday against the Colts. Why do you think we are struggling so much in short third downs, man? If I knew, I'd sell the solution to LaFleur and company. I don't think they really have an identity or a go-to. We've seen them try. And, hey, Jamal got a really tough short yardage conversion on Sunday against the Colts, and where he is stopped behind the line of scrimmage and through sheer force of will gets the first down. But, yeah, I just don't think they've played some tough interior defenses, and they keep trying to, pound the A gap, and that's not their identity, at least to me. They don't have road graders up front. They have a lot of really good, talented, athletic offensive linemen, but those guys don't, get that tough yard in man situations when they're asked to fire off the ball. So that's always going to be a bit of a struggle for this team. I do think they need to be a little bit more creative, and I know they can do it. You saw that fourth down conversion against the Falcons. It was so creative. Just need a little bit more of that. And I'm not saying you have to draw up some crazy play every time, but just a little bit more creativity. Now, we saw them go, they try to pump and go on the 4th and 1. And it is funny, like everyone's talking about Elton Jenkins being brilliant. And Elton Jenkins admitted he tried to oversell the run, and that caused him to slip up in pass pro. And that's why the pressure is in Rodgers' face. And that's why he had to throw to Jamal. And that's why it's incomplete and they turn the ball over. So it's every little thing. Every single guy has to execute in those situations. And if even just one guy, namely the guy who's played probably better than anybody on the offense, if he slips up, then yeah, the play goes to hell. So I do think they just need to find their identity in those situations and try and come up with a little bit more creative ways of using their personnel. And that's just me. Why do people not shut up about the 2020 draft class? Andrew, God, I wish I knew. Because they like to bitch. Like, this is your team. They're playing tons of really great games and entertaining everybody week in and week out. And then all anyone wants to talk about is the draft. Like, the fucking draft? The draft was in April, my dudes. It is now Thanksgiving. Who gives a shit about the draft? This is your team. Root for them. It's not a hard equation to solve. Leroy Butler on transplants. He's been on a couple times. Win the turnover game. Well, Drew, that's the story of the Packers and their kind of weird up and down middle of the season. They have been turning the ball over way too much. They just don't turn the ball over on Sunday against the Colts. They win that game. So you can say what you want about the defense, offense sputtering at times, special teams giving up, whatever. That's all true. But if you just don't turn the ball over, you win. So to me, that has got to be the focal point going forward for the next 6 games is the ball. You hear LaFleur preach about the ball. That's got to be all about the ball, these 6 games. Carry the G. Gilbert. What's up, buddy? Thanks for the super chat. Love how Rodgers took up for MVS. # real leadership. That was great. It was great. And I liked it because I didn't think he oversold it. But he laid out facts as far as some certain stats and where MVS ranks since he came in the league. But he also talked about the need for consistency and his confidence, etc. Yeah, I thought it was real, and I thought it was great. And that's one of those things that, people rarely point to when it comes to Rodgers. They like to latch on to old narratives about a lack of leadership. And I mean, if he's proven anything, it's that he is anything but a bad leader. He is the perfect leader for this team. All right, guys, I'm going to have to get going. I can't thank you enough hanging out, talking some Packers. Join us tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Lambeau time for the latest edition of Packer Transplants. Corey and I will be going over the Colts game, looking ahead to the Bears game, talking all sorts of stuff in the Packer blogosphere. It's going to be a good time. And then Patreon members, a little bit after Transplants at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, we'll have our Cheesehead TV Zoom happy hour for Patreon members. Hope you can join us. In the meantime, please hit like, hit subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family. Cheesehead TV. We are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great day.